Marketers often talk about the consumer journey, and we think of it in linear terms, building from awareness to consideration to purchase to loyalty to advocacy, or whatever the different buckets of it. But it's the way that we figure out how people how to convert consumers into customers, and we think of it in terms of a narrative, because that's how we think. But Google Think with Google has some interesting research on the customer journey that scrambles that up. It's not linear. It's the messy middle. So they have, that's what they call it, the messy middle. We traditionally depict it as a linear progression, but they break it down to two different mental modes that are within the messy middle. There's exploration. It's an expansive activity, and there's evaluation, which is a reductive activity, right? People loop through these twin modes of exploration and evaluation as they're considering buying something, as they're considering a purchase, and so we need to think more in terms of that rather than, I mean, the linear progression is helpful in terms of when we market where, but to really understand that consumer behavior, it really is a messy middle. They break the cognitive biases during this process into 6 basic categories. There's category heuristics. So those are short descriptions of key product specifications that can simplify purchase decisions. There's the power of now. The longer you have to wait for a product, the weaker the proposition becomes. There's social proof, recommendations and reviews from others that are persuasive. There's scarcity bias. We all know about that. There's limited availability of a product, more desirable it becomes. There's authority bias, so you're being swayed by an expert or a trusted source. And then there's the power of free. Getting something free, even if it's unrelated, can be a motivator for people to purchase. So we'll put a link to this one in the show notes. This is also a longer read, but well worth the consideration.
Do they show you how you measure these things?
Of course not. That's what that's what Google Analytics is for. You need to figure out the KPIs in the messy middle.
Okay, well, it would be nice if they would help.